This program is brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only.
Fora TV. Idea Immersion. Visit us at www.fora.tv.
Funding for this program is provided by the Surdna Foundation, the Leland Fikes Foundation, and Care2.com.
I like winning. I think we've done amazingly well on this, and I like it. What do you guys think? I mean, this is fun, right? This fight is fun. It is fun to beat up on these people. These are bad people, right? I mean, I have the advantage that I don't know anything. These people know things. I don't know anything, right? They know how telecommunication policy works. I don't. All I know is when people are flacking and trying to convince people that things aren't of untrue things. Now I'm going to talk about what I have learned about politics through this fight and where we go from here. I think we're going to win this, and I think it's quite possible. But even if we don't win this time, we're going to win it next time. And we've raised the issue and gotten enough people on the record that if they do start blocking websites, that it will be a very, very serious political problem for them. And that is a very, very clear victory that we have already achieved. We've sort of gotten the idea out there that if you love your dropped calls, you'll love a non-neutral internet. And that's an important thing to sort of explain. I have tremendous respect for everyone on this panel, and I completely agree with the analysis that Antoine particularly talked about in terms of power dynamics. And I'm going to get to that in a second, but I want to list two other victories that I think are very clear. First of all, vilifying Mike McCurry is really important. And the reason it's important is because we, all of us, fought back against a system where democratic, wise elders sell us out for personal profit and screw our values. And we created a disincentive to that model, and lobbyists and democratic operatives who've traditionally done that are now scared. And that is a big deal, and that's a big victory, and that's going to resonate throughout other public policy fights. And you're going to see that tactic used and reused because it works and because it's corruption on our side and they listen and care about what we say. So that's a clear victory. It's a clear precedent. And I think that that's been just phenomenal. And that wasn't me. That was all of everyone on the Huffington Post who were like, why are you calling us 13-year-old children? That you're ridiculous. That is essential to create that disincentive. The third victory is that and this is part of an overall fight that's been organized since 2003. We've had communication policy discussed in a wide public area for the first time since 1934. That is so big. Reporters don't cover communications policy, and yet the blogs did, and we had a really wide-ranging public debate about how we talk as a nation, and that is a big deal, and that's not going to stop. Right? And that means that has huge implications politically speaking, and that is a massive victory. People are now thinking and talking about how we talk. So those are the three victories that I would point to right now, and we may win the Senate. I'm pretty optimistic about this fight. I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the weaknesses. I think there's been a lack of vision on our side, and this isn't to blame anyone because we just started. Right? And they've had a 70-year head start, and they've spent $50 million, and we haven't. So, that buys a lot of bullshit vision. We have, I think, from my impression, the copyright reform, broadband access, fat pipes to everyone in the country, neutral internet, and universal access is a key part of a progressive America. It is essential, and we have to have it. And we have not staked out that vision territory yet. We have not answered the question of what we want the internet to look like in the 21st century, because we're not going to, the people who are going to make money from that are in the future, and the people who make money from the existing systems are now, and so they're paying to get their ideas out. And so articulating that vision is really important, and I'm going to explain why, just in practical terms, having such a vision is important. The weaknesses of the coalition have been unions and minorities, and those are for good reasons. And they're not entirely, and that's not, we haven't been incredibly weak on that front, but the failure to articulate and address the concerns of those constituency groups that are really important has directly led to to some of the weaknesses in our coalition, and we could have made them a lot stronger by articulating a larger vision that actually included the interests of everyone and brought people along in this fight. But because we didn't do that, we did lose some political power there. But we're going to address that. We're going to fix that. And we're going to bring a lot more people along with us. The third thing I've learned, aside from the need to get rid of the power and corruption within the political system, the need for vision, is the need to engage in some elements of political theater and really frame issues as a discussion of strength and villains rather than sort of wonkery. Now, you need the wonkery, you need those substantive discussions. Those are essential, those are really important because you can't do anything or fix anything without it. And policy matters. It's the most important thing. It's what we're all ultimately fighting for. What we have done better than the telcos so far, online at least, is engaged in political theater to demonstrate what their true intentions are, and that's been enormously effective in affecting public discourse. What I'm starting to do on my DD, and I hope that people pick it up, and people have picked it up, and it's been incredible, is really to make this a voting issue and to get people to actually run on net neutrality specifically as an issue which they are concerned about and they think that people are going to vote and donate based on. And that's ultimately where the rubber meets the road. We've done this is amazing, this conference, because what we've created is a parallel political structure with its own politics, our own ability to generate some votes, to generate some money, and connecting that to ideas is kind of one of the last pieces that we have to really do. And that I think we've started to do that on this coalition. And I want to address the last thing, which is the consumer nature of the discourse, which I think is an important point because I really don't like the consumer-driven politics. I think it's poisonous, and I think we're going to end up destroying ourselves if we continue down this path. But the way that you draw people out of being consumers is you teach them how to fight. And then as people fight, and I think we all went through this, and I went through it about 3 years ago, by engaging in fighting and standing up for yourself and being a part of politics and gaining power yourself, you begin to understand how the rest of the culture and mass marketing system is manipulating you and is manipulating the people around you. And engaging millions of people in fighting for public policy positions is a really, really, really powerful way of getting people to see the value of engaging in politics and to see the dangerous parts of consumer language. And so while I think the language has been somewhat consumer-oriented, I think drawing people out of that language is a process, and that process is about these fights, about demonstrating the connection between our values, our lives, our ideas, and our own worth as individuals with dignity and strength. So that's what I would say about this fight. And it's been an amazing experience, and this fight has proved that the public cares about where this country is going, and I really believe that.
This program was brought to you by Link TV for educational and non-commercial use only. Link TV is the only U.S. television network devoted to global and national news, with uncompromising documentaries and diverse cultural programs. Programs which connect you to the world.
Funding for this program was provided by the Srdna Foundation, the Leland Fikes Foundation, and Care2.com.